Okay, so you've been diagnosed with carpal tunnel. You've probably gone to physical therapy. You may try the various exercises that you've seen on YouTube and different internet sources. And yet it's still here. You're still wearing the brace. In fact, you may have even had surgery and you're still wearing the brace. If you're ready to stop your carpal tunnel today, I've got the 3 exercises that will stop that problem. I will tell you what it is, I will tell you why these other treatments aren't working, and then I will share with you the 3 exercises that you need to do to stop carpal tunnel today. Welcome back to the Muscle Repair Shop. My name is Butch Faust. I'm a functional massage therapist, and today I want to talk about carpal tunnel syndrome. Now, everybody has a carpal tunnel, but the syndrome is where the pain is being created in that tunnel from inflammation in the wrist itself. And as so many videos on YouTube have explained, it's pressing on the median nerve and it's causing numbness in the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, and half of the ring finger. But the problem comes into how do you get that to stop? And more importantly, how did it start to begin with? So let's start with, how did this happen to begin with? So when you look at the arm, from the elbows to the tips of your fingers, there's 26 muscles that control my hand in all different directions. Okay? So you've got 5 that are, this is an epicondyle, which is like a knot here at the end of the elbow on the inside. 5 of those muscles come through the carpal tunnel here in the wrist, and the tendons go out to the fingers and allow you to move your fingers. And you can see that as I move my hand, you can see my forearm starting to move. Now, on the top side, you have 5 here coming down from the top end, and these are called extensors that will do the same thing. They allow you to open your hand. The problem for carpal tunnel syndrome sufferers is that these muscles in here start to tighten, and as they do into this carpal tunnel area, they inflame from the overuse here, back up here, and it presses on the median nerve. Now the median nerve goes to the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, and half, or the inside half of the ring finger here. This little finger out here is handled by another nerve on this side. So everybody goes here because this is where they think the pain begins, but in actuality, the pain begins back up here. And so when I've looked at the videos online talking about how to solve the carpal tunnel problem, of course you get the surgery ones, which is just insane. It's a temporary thing to stop the pain today by cutting this retinacular muscle here to relieve the pressure, and it does for that moment do that. The problem is that no one's teaching you why you got there to begin with. And they'll put you in braces, and you got braces with the metal here to protect your wrist so it doesn't move. The problem is not here. The problem is over here. And that's a huge mistake. So let's talk about how you got there. I've seen at my local grocery store many cashiers who are working on a cash register and they're wearing braces on both arms. And you think about how they're punching things with their fingers and they're picking things up and putting them into the bags and so forth. The same thing is true of people working on a computer all day with their mouse. They're punching on the keyboard all day. They're working on their phones all day. Well, as you're working these fingers doing that, you're using these muscles up here. And these muscles will tighten. Now, I've seen some of the videos where they're showing how do you solve that. Well, you can do your hands this way. So here's a question for you. If this works so well, then if my wrist hurts and I'm trying to pull my hand down to stretch the muscle, aren't I contracting the muscles here to pull my hand down? Try it. Touch right here. Bring the hand down. Aren't we contracting the muscle there? So if this is creating the carpal tunnel, aren't I actually making this worse? And the idea that I'm going to pull my hand back and I'm going to stretch this back out, aren't I contracting the muscles on this side? Question is that stretching or is that strength training? I pull down, I'm contracting the muscle just like I would if I had a weight in my hand. I pull up, I'm contracting the muscle just like if I had a weight in my hand this way. Some of the others that I've seen, they have their hand straight out here and their hand is coming down and back up. It's the same thing. If I lift my hand up, I'm contracting up here, and if I lift my hand down, I'm contracting in here. This is the cause, remember? I'm going to keep saying this. This is the cause. This is not the cause. This is the reaction, all right? And then the last one that I saw, they're taking their hands and they're coming this way. Well, if you come back here, it's a stretch you can do, but why don't we include the thumb? Because remember, the median nerve controls the thumb, the index finger, and the middle finger. Why wouldn't we just include the thumb and come back this way? But if you're dealing with carpal tunnel, this is going to be really painful. And if you try to hold on to this for 20, 30 seconds at a time, your brain will fight you because the pain will be too great. And then you'll just quit. Because it won't feel like it's getting better. It's going to feel like it's getting worse. And so that's another set of them. Then it would suggest the braces and wear the braces. Well, if I wear a brace on my hand, and again, they're treating this, okay? This is not the problem. This is the problem for carpal tunnel, all right? Then I saw a guy who was talking about the shoulder rounding in and having the rubber bands and pulling through with rubber bands. He's right in many of the things that he said, was that the shoulder rounding in could cause some problems with the nerves coming out of the neck down the arm. And he was right that this was part of the cause, but the way he was getting to it, I wouldn't do it that way. But anyway, that's not for me to judge. However, go back to what I said before. This is not the cause. This is the cause over here. So this is where we want to work. So what can you do to stop that? Number one, you want to be able to soften the muscle tissue in the arm on both sides. And so if you take your hand, wrap it around your arm here, it looks like with my thumb that I'm pushing up with my thumb here, okay? But what I'm actually doing is, if you notice, I'm rotating the lower hand here, and as I do that, I'm literally pushing the muscle right into the thumb. Now here's the caveat to this. You are not going to push this hard muscle into making it soft. I don't care how much pressure you put on it. I don't care how many machines that you buy, the Theraguns or any of those things that you put in here. The only way you're going to stop this is put just enough pressure to feel it, breathe out, allow the brain to relax the tension in the muscle, and as it does that, the muscle will go soft. If I push too hard here, number one, I'm going to hurt this thumb, but number two, if I increase the pressure and create too much pain, the brain, on the emotional side of the muscles, will literally cause the muscle to contract, trying to stop the pain. And I want to start at my elbow, and I want to work all the way down. And oh, by the way, this is great for elbow tendonitis too, but that's another video. But I want to start here and work my way all the way down my arm, because I want this to be soft enough that I can easily feel the two bones here. Now, to really get into the carpal tunnel, rotate the hand over. Now you see I'm pressing into here, but I'm rotating my hand just like I did with the last massage coming in here. And again, what we want to do is we want to soften here so that the forearms are soft. Hard bodies and buns of steel I make a living on. Hard muscles do not mean that you are strong. Hard muscles means that you're stiff. I've met seniors that does nothing all day long and their muscles are just as stiff as people working out with weights. So the harder these muscles are, the less movement that you have, but the more inflammation you're going to have in the muscles going down into the tendons, putting pressure on the median nerve. Number two, take your hands, form like you're almost like you're doing a little prayer, and then what you want, see all of my hand is matching up, thumb to thumb, index finger to index finger, And all I'm doing is just gently coming over, breathing out, because I want to stretch in here, but I don't want to force it, and I don't want to hold it for more than 5 seconds at a time. So as you come down and start to feel the tension, for some of you that might be tension, this might be tension, or that might be tension. But when you come down, as you start to feel the tension happening, stop there, breathe for that 5 seconds, and allow the tension down here to let go. And after the 5 seconds, you see, you can come back and you can either alternate or work on one side at a time. You can do this anytime, anywhere. I would suggest doing this every day. In fact, if I had carpal tunnel or the beginning of it, I would be doing this every hour if I had to start getting this to release and let go. And you come back, same thing again. Now, number 3, we want to work on extending the extensors up here to start freeing it up so that down here doesn't have to work so much. Remember how I said earlier there were people showing you to do this and you could do it with your arms straight out like that or whatever? We're not going to use the muscles in the arm to do that, but we're going to form a light fist here. Take the other hand, and with this arm being relaxed, gently come down. Feel the stretch coming over this way, but only hold for the 5 seconds. So again, as you start to come down, the tension will start to build here. Don't force through it. More is not better, okay? But what I want you to do is breathe out as you feel the tension stop and allow the tension to dissipate with your brain. And once you do that, now you start to free this back up, and then when that 5 seconds is up, you release, repeat the 10 times. And the reason for the 10 times is just to show the brain that you can do this. So again, you've got number 1 is the massage of the arm here, softening the arm up on the top and on the bottom, working in here. Number 2, you're going to do 10 to each side here. And remember, when you do these, as you increase the tension, you're not going to force it through, but when you start feeling the tension come into place, stop, breathe for 5 seconds, allow the tension to dissipate, release. Now you're going to do each side 10 times. Now you can do 10 on one side and 10 on the other side, or you can alternate back and forth, whichever you feel is okay. But the key here is you're not going to pull this out. You're going to, as you start to feel tension, breathe and allow it to let go. 3, this one here. Don't use the muscles here. Take this hand after you make a light fist, gently come down and start to stretch and feel up here. You'll feel the tension, but again, we're not pulling taffy. As you start to pull down and feel the tension, you're going to hold it for the 5 seconds, breathe out, and allow the tension to dissipate. I'm telling you, I've done this with hundreds of people with carpal tunnel syndrome. They've had surgeries, they've been to PTs, tried everything possible out there. And these 3 exercises has knocked it out, but usually within a week's time. You do these every day, several times a day, and I'm saying to you, this is going to help you when you do that. Anyway, if you like what you've been hearing and you'd like to hear more, don't forget, subscribe down below, ring the bell, share it with your friends, and until next time, see ya.